watching CI Living, at home in your community.
Well, there's nothing better than the look and smell of a live tree during the holidays.
But if you don't take care of that live Christmas tree, you could still be finding needles inside your home come spring. And here with the dirt on caring for live Christmas trees from the U of I Extension, it's horticulture educator Ryan Pancaw, who has a few different varieties here of Christmas trees that people usually purchase. Before we talk about these kind, let's kind of talk sustainability and which route is like better, I guess, for the environment, going artificial or live?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. And so, you know, U of I Extension, we're focused on research-based answers. There's not a ton of research out there really on this, but I did find one study from Ohio State where they looked at, the environmental impact of an artificial, plastic tree, made overseas and shipped here versus that live tree that gets cut down where, it has environmental impacts of its own. It's shipping, it's the distance it takes to bring it here. But, the bottom line from that study is that that artificial tree, if you can reuse it for about 4 years, that equals the carbon footprint of that live tree that you could bring to your home in really general terms. But some of the factors I didn't think about in this that, I'm focused more on the plastic that goes into that artificial tree and other things. A big factor was the type of lights that you use on your tree, where, LED lights we know are 10 times more efficient than incandescent lights, and 1 year's use of incandescent lights can zero out any benefit you got from that more sustainable choice. So, so that's a big factor. The distance of transport is another big factor. If you transported a tree for more than 25 miles to your home, you might not have got any benefit out of 4 years of using an artificial tree, and is the equivalent.
Is that kind of the lifespan of an artificial tree, 4 years?
No, that was just kind of the break-even point. So if you use your artificial tree for 20 years, that's quite a bit more sustainable than having live trees every year then. But,
and there are perks of, like, you don't have to clean up the pines everywhere, or tree sap, or the water, or pets getting in, all that as well. So I see the pros and cons of it for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, you've brought some examples here of live trees. What seems to be the most popular?
Well, probably the most popular live tree that most folks get is Fraser fir, and that's what this is, where it has these, really soft needles. They're not, if you touch these, they're not prickly. From the standpoint of hanging ornaments on these, they really tend to grab onto these shorter, stouter needles as opposed to a pine tree, which is the next one right here. This is white pine.
Yeah, the ornaments will just slide right off.
They just slide right off of this. Needles are a little bit prickly if you actually brush against them, so that's maybe a downside. But then the other common species is Colorado blue spruce, and that's what both of these samples are right here. And you can see it's sometimes very blue, it's sometimes very green. Has the stout needles that can really hold the lights and ornaments and things, but it's very prickly. If you notice, it's really sharp to the touch, and that's one thing I really kind of don't like about Colorado blue spruce. But some folks really like the blue color.
My bad. Okay. Yes, that is accurate.
Very sharp.
What is this one? It's
that's
a softer version.
That's actually arborvitae, which it's just an example of kind of spray-like vegetation instead of needles, where those needles are really tiny needles arranged in flattened sprays. Not super common as a Christmas tree, but really common in wreaths and other things that you see in.
Do each of these different types require a different type of care?
Not particularly. And really, when it comes down to having the tree that lasts the longest, the biggest factor is really when was that tree cut. Because the second it's separated from its root system, it starts drying out. That's why we need to put it in water. And so really, as opposed to focusing on one species over another, it's getting the freshest tree that you can get, which obviously going to the Christmas tree farm and cutting it yourself is maybe the best option.
And then keeping it watered, I'm guessing.
And keeping it watered is huge. Another thing that a lot of folks don't think about, if there's a lot of sap buildup on the end of that cut stump, to recut that, because all that sap is blocking all the conductive tissue. And if you can keep that continually wet, that will limit the sap buildup then once you get it into your home. So that's a big factor. Another thing most folks don't think about is placement. Don't put it by a heating vent if you don't want it to dry out as quick.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Yeah, it does. Well, all great tips. You got a blog post that he has written that has all of these great tips there. Seeing it on the screen now, we'll have that linked up at CILiving.tv. It smells like Christmas in here.
It sure does. I love it.
Ryan.